If you guys talk enough crap in the comments to my team that you want a part 3 and we get at least 300 comments, we'll say 300 comments. I think that's safe. We get hundreds of comments already. Okay, 400 comments. If we get 400 comments, I'll do a part 3. Check this out, Bigger Pockets. We did 3 episodes on Bigger Pockets today. One, Jamil and I did an episode about, he pitched me a deal and I told him whether it was a 10 or a 0 or 5 or whatever. We were like rating each other's deals. And then another one we were saying like, is this hot or not type of thing. It was really cool. Talking about, here's a deal, do you like it, do you not like it, but what would make it better was the second episode. And then we just did a 3rd episode with David Green, Dave Meyer, Jamil, myself, and kind of had a war about whether creative finance is better, short-term rentals, BRRRR, or wholesale. And when it got to me, I was like, guys, I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Creative finance dominates everybody because I can buy and hold with creative finance. I can wholesale with creative finance. I can buy multifamily, empty lots. I can do short-term rentals. I can do anything with creative finance, including buy a car. So today we're gonna talk about exactly all your guys' burning desires. And Eric's gonna have to tell me, because Eric on my team keeps telling me, Pace, everybody keeps asking for episode 2 of how to sub to a car. So I'm going to assume what your questions are, and if Eric has anything that I'm missing, he's gonna have to tell me. So number 1, where do I find a car to buy sub to or on seller finance? Well, Craigslist. The first vehicle I ever sold on seller finance was an F-150. You guys all know that story. You go on Craigslist and you go through cars that you want. Now, you're not going to necessarily, it's just like anything. Like if I knock on one of these people's doors, do you think I'm going to buy every single house in this neighborhood? No, right? Trial and error. You have to go out, do the push-ups, put in the reps, make the phone calls. People are going to go, okay, well, I go on Craigslist, but what am I looking for? Literally just go through the newest listings and call 100 people. Make a goal, call 100 people. If you haven't called 100 people, then don't come back to me and ask me more questions, because that's going to be the problem. People are going to call 3 people and go, nah, I don't understand it. First and foremost, you're going to suck at explaining it because you're brand new. So you have to go through 20, 30 people. But here's the line, okay? I'm going to make it up on the top of my head because I don't believe in scripts. I would say, hey, I saw your Toyota Tacoma for sale. I was wondering if you would take payments for that Tacoma. Some people are going to know exactly what you're talking about because some people are not completely brand new to creative finance. They know it and they'll say, no, I'm good. Or maybe. The advantage you have right now versus like a year ago is that the car bubble burst. What happened in the market is that used cars were at an all-time high. Now that bubble burst and people are trying to get rid of their cars. So you have a unique advantage right now and probably over the next year or so. So call people, say, hey, I noticed you're selling this car. Would you allow me to make payments on this instead of just giving you cash? And you're going to get a lot of people that don't trust you because they don't know you. In fact, you called them on Craigslist. So don't expect anything other than that. Don't be upset. Don't be angry. Don't say this doesn't work. If you want to buy a car on terms, then you've got to make the calls. You make a call. That's the script. Somebody's going to say no. You go, okay, well, you know, I can pay. If they say no, now here's what you do. Well, what if I can pay you more money than somebody that pays you cash? And they still say no, I need the cash right now. Okay, great, thank you for your time, I appreciate it. If for some reason you can't sell it for the number you want, take my number down, I'll follow up with you in a week. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a list of everybody you talk to, and then you're gonna follow back up with them in a week, but via text message. Hey, did you sell the truck? This is the guy asking about payments. This is a really easy process, guys, it works. A lot of my students buy their cars, their RVs, their trailers, their campers, all sorts of vehicles, motorcycles, all with creative finance. If they say, yeah, maybe, what does that sound like? Well, tell them that I don't want to go down to a dealership. I'd rather work out a deal directly with you. So, you know, the dealership and banks and all these people aren't making all the money. It's you and I working out a deal. And I can typically, a lot of times, pay more money for a vehicle than somebody just offering cash. So if you let me give you a down payment, I can make a monthly payment to you until the car's paid off. And they'll go, okay, yeah, I like that. It's very simple. Okay, it's how I sold my F-150. I didn't even have to try. I found the guy, Jose is his name, the buyer, in like 15 minutes. And I just said, how much money do you have down? He said $1,000. I go, done. That's it. That's how easy the deal is. You meet up, you inspect the car, you work out a bill of sale. Everybody's county or state will have a bill of sale specifically written by the state. Our state, if you guys Google bill of sale Arizona, you're gonna have a bill of sale pop up. So you don't need to have anything like Subto or seller finance paperwork. You just need a bill of sale, and on the bill of sale, write the terms of your agreement. So for example, a good set of terms would be 0 down would be amazing, because some of you guys are broke as shit. Let's say I have no money. You say 0 down, write down 0 down, payments to start 60 days later. Wait, I can do that? Yes, you can do that. You can start payments anytime. We bought a house in Atlanta 6 months ago, and the seller said, what terms do you want? I said, I don't want to make any payments for 6 months. And the seller's like, why? And I go, because I want to get the property up and operational. I want to turn it into an Airbnb and basically use the cash from that property for 5 or 6 months to pay off my furniture. And the seller goes, done. That's not a problem. You're giving me the number I want. That's perfectly cool. Payments start in 6 months. And then I gave the seller like an extra 20 grand on the purchase price, which was fine by me, right? Work out the terms that make sense for you. If you don't have money, then obviously you got to do a 0 down deal. Not that hard. So don't come to me and say, Pace, how should I structure this? I don't know how much money you have. Damn, son. You got to work out terms with that seller, right? Here's why a seller would do this. Somebody's going to, why would a seller do this? You're dumb. First and foremost, asking that question. Don't ever ask that question again. Why would a seller sell to me on creative finance? Well, because they make more money than cash. Just because they don't receive it today doesn't mean they're not making a lot more, right? It's the same thing with a bank. Why does a bank loan money? Because they know if they give you a $200,000 loan, they're going to actually get $600,000 over the 30 years. $600,000. You're going to get 3 times more than what you actually borrowed. It's the same thing with this. A seller who has, let's say, a Toyota Tacoma on Craigslist, they want to sell it for 10 grand. Most everybody on Craigslist right now is offering 8,000, 9,000, 9,200 cash. So they're all negotiating underneath 10,000. If you came in and you said, I'll give you 10,000 as long as you let me give you a down payment, if you have the money, some of you don't, and I'll start making payments to you every month. And they go, well, how do I trust you? Well, here's where I live, here's what I do for a living, here's my driver's license, here's this, here's my credit. Like you can look at everything. I'll get insurance that protects you as the seller. So that's one of the other tips, right? So I told you, get a bill of sale, fill out your terms, make sure you have insurance specifically for driving a vehicle that's being seller financed. Yes, there is insurance for this. Call an insurance broker. Somebody does this and say, I'm buying a car on payments. I need this insurance to protect them in the event I crash a vehicle, or in the event that I stop making payments, they can get the car back. So your insurance provider will help out with that. It's the same thing I have on this car. I got special insurance for this car. This car is owned Subto. So let's go through the steps one more time. Craigslist, okay? Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, wherever there's vehicles. Guys, it's not just cars. Literally anything you want. You want a camera? We got a $6,000 rig right here. Got a gimbal, a lens, and a camera body. Maybe $8,000 with the audio equipment. $8,000 here. If you guys want to go get that stuff, then go to people's listings on Craigslist, OfferUp, those types of things, and say, can you let me make payments on that so that you can start buying things, guys? You can control anything by making payments on it. It's very simple. In fact, anytime you're like on Amazon now and like checking out anywhere, you ever see that they're like, this $42 thing, you could make 3 easy payments of $17. You start seeing that? Oh, yeah. Guys, that's seller financing. The seller is financing you by letting them make payments to you. Even on Amazon, guys, creative finance is in your face all the time. You're just not paying attention. How do I do it? I go to Craigslist. I find the vehicle I want. Find a vehicle you want. How do I know how much is too much for a payment? Maybe that's a question we haven't touched base on. Go on Turo, Turo.com, and find out how much you could rent that car for on Turo and reverse engineer it. Okay, we call it transactioneering. Engineering the transaction. Transactioneering. You go, figure out what you can rent it for, and then you back into what you should be buying it for on payments. It's very simple. So if Turo says $2,000, well, I got cleaning, I got repairs, I got tire, oil changes, I got all these things I got to worry about on Turo. $2,000 a month this car can make. I would probably say the maximum payment I could make to somebody is about 1/4 of what I can bring in on Turo. So now I've got $500 payment. I'm renting it out for $2,500. My costs are, $1,000 a month for that car, and I make $1,000 a month. Pretty good. So you can Turo the car, you can DoorDash, Postmates, right? You could be a delivery driver. There's a lot of people driving around right now that are delivering, not even food, stuff, groceries. Go work for GoPuff. If you guys don't have GoPuff in your town, it's probably because your town sucks. So we covered the how, bill of sale, the paperwork. Yes, you go down to the DMV, you register under your name. I covered the insurance, what you should do with it. I think I covered everything. You feel like I covered everything? Yeah. Here's the problem with this. Talking to you. You guys expect everything to be harder than it is. You expect everything to be harder than it is, so you overthink everything. And you're like, nope, I'm missing something. No, you're not. Just pick up the damn phone. Call somebody on Craigslist. Get a bill of sale. Download it from your site. Go meet them. Do you like I could Or here's another way to find a car. So you drive around town, you'll see these like parking lots full of cars and everybody's like selling their own cars and they have like for sale. You ever see those?
Yeah.
It's not even a car dealership. It's like a dirt lot that people just throw their cars on. Call those people. Call those people. Nobody's that actually, now I just taught myself something. I learned something in this YouTube video. People that have their car sitting in a dirt lot are way more likely to negotiate with you because they're not driving the vehicle. Here's what we'll do. If you guys bother my team enough, my team will then bother me enough to the point where I'll go, what? Why? Why does everybody want a part 3 video of this? Well, I'll tell you why you want a part 3 video of this. Because if you guys complain enough in the comments and talk enough shit to my team, I will do a part 3 of this where I will show you by going to a dirt lot and doing this myself. Am I gonna buy another car? No, I have too many cars already. We've got the F-150, we've got the Prius, we've got the Kia, we've got the Tesla, and we've got the Escalade. I got 5 cars and we only have 2 drivers in my house. I don't need another car. The people who stay at my guest house drive this car a lot, and I drive this car a lot because the air conditioning in here is actually better than my Prius air conditioning. Now, this is phenomenal air conditioning. It's like really good. Here's what I'll do. I'll literally spend 2 hours. I'll give you guys 2 hours. I'll drive around and I'll look for those car dealerships, 1, and 2, the ones with like the dirt lots. We will call those cars. Every car that's in a dirt lot, I'll call and try and buy them on seller finance. And I bet you, if I can't, I'll give Eric 500 bucks. If you guys talk enough crap in the comments to my team that you want a part 3 and we get at least 300 comments, we'll say 300 comments. I think that's safe. We get hundreds of comments already. Okay, 400 comments. If we get 400 comments, I'll do a part 3. All right, guys, see you in the next video.